how do people find out what these games are? And when you're guessing these games, are you just trying to sit in the seats of the networks? And how do you feel about the first batch of games that we've learned about? It's kind of open-ended there, but go ahead and run with it.
Yeah, well, now it's open season because the teams have their schedules. So all you need is a source at one of the buildings, and they can give you the tips. So usually today's leaks are pretty accurate. But leading up to yesterday, everyone was guessing. And some of the networks knew because they had to announce it on their upfronts. But even up to this morning, I don't think everyone knew the Netflix deal was a done deal as far as Christmas Day games go. But now each of the teams has their schedule. Now the league has gone above and beyond to try to protect that information. If I'm not mistaken, every schedule that was sent out over any electronic communication is watermarked with the email that it's sent to. So they can't really send it out, or you're getting caught leaking it, and then there's great repercussions. So the NFL would love to keep this under lock and key until 8 p.m. Eastern, but the teams now know, and by that point, all it takes is a phone call to a Jordan Schultz or whoever, and it's usually pretty accurate. But the NFL would love to make tonight's 8 p.m. Eastern announcement a giant event, and they're going to do a good enough job because there's still enough games that have not been announced yet.
Go ahead, AJ.
Schrager, speaking of that Netflix deal, with 2 games on Christmas Day are going to be streamed live on Netflix. Is it right? They paid upwards of $150 million per game. Is that correct?
I don't know the number, but I know it's a lot. And what that tells me is a couple things. One, we've got a new partner in town, and they always say it's broadcast partners. Well, obviously ESPN and ABC are one. I work for Fox. They're one. CBS, now Amazon, NBC. Now you got Netflix into the pool as well. You also have to think they got a pretty good game there. Now, last year on Christmas, we saw a couple games, Giants, Eagles. We saw Raiders versus Chiefs. I would think that if you're paying, upwards to $300 million for games, you're going to get a premier matchup. I would think Kansas City has to be a part of that. I honestly do not know that, but I would assume that they're going to give them the Chiefs as the defending Super Bowl champions. Who the opponent is, we'll see. And then what the other game is and whoever else, we don't know. As far as Kansas City goes, I'm speculating.
Do you know
I would just imagine that
it has been reported on the internet now.
Has it been?
It's
what are they saying?
Ravens at Texans and Chiefs at Steelers, I believe, are the Christmas Day games.
Okay, that has been reported on the internet. Has not been. We don't know if it's
all seems like those are 2 awesome matchups on December 25th. If those are it, so they're paying for that. What's curious to me is why the NFL went with them as opposed to an Amazon, who I'm sure is willing to spend, or a CBS or Fox. And what I've been told by sources is this is a big international play. Like Netflix has international rights to the NFL. So this is kind of fitting 2 boxes. One, they think there's a younger demographic on Netflix. They also think there might be an international demographic that we don't hit on the broadcast cable networks. But, it's another player in town, and Netflix is here now. And after the success of the quarterback and the Brady roast, I think they're going to be figures in the NFL moving forward.
Yeah, 270 million worldwide subscribers, Netflix, I believe, was the number that I heard from sources this morning as well. And you hear people complaining about, the having to pay for a new thing. I think, no offense to those who don't have a Netflix subscription, I think if you were to not watch on Christmas, I don't know if it'll be noticed. The numbers are going to be bananas for these games. I mean, they are going to be absolutely bananas. And some people think that the NFL is kind of leaving them behind or whatever, because you're making me have to pay for these other things, I'm paying more than like I am for cable and everything. It's like at this stage of the game, that's what it is, though. Yeah. For almost any, I want to watch this movie. Well, I got to download this app, and I got to be for a month subscriber for this just to watch this one movie. It's kind of how the new world is. So we don't love it. I'm not saying it's good.
Same with like a stand-up special. Like if I want to see Nate Bargatze's new stand-up special, where do I find it? It's on one of the streamers. It's not on Comedy Central anymore. It's going to be on one of the streamers. So
it sucks, but it's just reality.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Welcome to the modern world.
Yeah.
If you don't have Netflix, all right, like everyone in the world has it at this point.
270 million people. I don't know what the global.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have Netflix,
cousin Greg,
it's not $50 to watch one NFL game. That's not what it is.
Okay.
I would add, what's curious about it though is we know the broadcast crews for all these networks, and Amazon had NBC assisting with their first year and has still a partner in that, Freddie Godelli's still involved with Amazon, who's like an icon in the industry. Fox used to do Thursday Night Football for NFL Network. CBS did the international games this year. Netflix has never done a football. We don't know who their pregame crew is. We don't know who the halftime crew is. Like, is Bert Kreischer going to be on with the guys from Squid Game?
Please.
Like,
I hope not. Yes.
Dude,
Trace, thank you. Yes. Bert, boom, done.
They've done a couple live events.
One game.
Let's think about this for a second. Okay?
Segura and Kreischer.
Come on.
What do you mean, Ty?
2 Bears, 2 games.
Think about what?
perhaps.
So it just got announced today. I don't think we need to rush in. Let's take a beat and kind of figure out what we want to do with the packaging.
The machine, machine here.
I think there's going to be. I think there is a chance for incredible entertainment opportunity, though, here with Netflix. And if you look at, back to your point about Netflix going to be just fine in the live stuff, they did that stand-up special with Martin.
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, there it is, Chris Rock. And good. I think
Did
everybody.
a golf event.
They did the golf. They did a tennis thing.
They did the Bachelorette thing, like live reunion.
Love is
thing.
Blind.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, whatever.
love it.
Yeah.
There it is. They did the Groat, obviously, live, which went over very well. And then they also just spent $5 billion on WWE's Monday Night Raw for the next 5. So I do believe if you're potentially a live show, okay, in the sports world,
Okay.
there is a new player in town who has a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Who also has 270 million worldwide subscribers. So if you're trying to take your show on the road or, sell out stadiums in Germany or
Right.
sell out stadiums in Brazil
Right.
or sell out stadiums maybe in Australia or wherever the hell you would like to sell stadiums, it's not a bad partner to do business with. So we would like to say, just from us to Netflix, thank you for getting involved in sports.
That's right. Yeah, Netflix.
We appreciate it. That's good news for the growth of sport as a whole, but also the growth of the game worldwide. It should be amazing. Let's talk about the worldwide games. So there's enough jokes to be said whenever I ask this particular question. What did Germany do?
Yeah, sure.
This game. Giants, yep. I know there's a lot of answers. We're
Sweet game.
within the last 100 years.
Yeah.
There is, which I don't think a lot of people are learning about anymore, seemingly.
No.
Which we should bring back into maybe.
Should we change the show to that? Because we can have a whole discussion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, that should be something that is at least discussed at some point. It feels like for this next generation. But Germany has proven to be massive NFL fans. I think there was 1.3 million people, depending upon when you got a screenshot of the queue for people to buy tickets to last year's games, which were the first ones ever there. So this year, it's the New York Football Giants, who have a Hard Knocks offseason. We're going to learn more about them than ever before. They're going to grow stars. Everybody's going to watch it. And then the Carolina Panthers. Now, when I put out the tweet, Germany deserved a better game. There was a lot of jokes that came. Sure. Okay, and I should have expected that. I'm sure, the Germans over there understand that that's going to be coming forever. That is how that's going to work. But then I saw Panthers fans mad that I said that. And then I didn't see any Giants fans mad. So they all assumed that I was talking shit about the Panthers being the game in Germany. It's not just them, it's both teams involved. So I just thought if you have a country that is allegedly a majority of the people that travel to London as well. That is what we've been told by people that have gone to the London games. They say a lot of the people we run into and encounter at these NFL events and games in London live in Germany, whether it's military or the German people who have a massive NFL media market over there with Bjorn Werner and
Sebastian
Magnus, was it Magnus Hunt? Who was it? It was another guy.
Anyways, they're running
Marcus.
football bromance. Football bromance show. They're selling out arenas over there. This is an NFL podcast. It's I would have thought that we would have potentially, as an NFL, gave them one, but then who knows what any of these games are going to be like, which is why it's so hard to project these types of things. Do you have any thoughts on the international games and how it's headed and everything?
2 years ago, I was at that first Germany game in Munich, and NFL Network sent all of us, and we did a whole week leading up to it. And I was blown away, not only by the amount of fans, but also the amount of educated fans. So that's a real market. It is. And Munich is going to bring it again. And this is where we had the Country Roads being sung with Tom Brady. You look at the Giants and the Panthers. The Panthers are obviously a newer franchise. They don't have the same fan base as the Giants, but the Giants are going all in on a marketing push this year for their 100th year as a franchise. So you have the in-season off-season Hard Knocks, which I'm still getting my head around. It's basically from January to July. It's all their free agent moves, draft moves, combine. That's what's going to be talked about. So that's going to be a team people are buzzing about. And then, of course, you have the 100th year where the Giants are rolling out all sorts of different initiatives where it's going to be the top 100 Giants of all time, a new patch on the uniform. So, this is a big year for the Giants, and they have 100 years of history where whether or not they're a Super Bowl contender, there is a certain feel about the Giants as a franchise going back 100 years that now they're finally playing in Germany. They're also 3-0 all time in international games. Their latest victory being over Aaron Rodgers and the Packers a couple of years ago in a surprise game in 2022 in London.
Yeah, so I understand. You never know, I guess. You literally have no idea what teams are going to be great, what aren't going to be great. Giants have a massive fan base. Carolina Panthers fan base, although they didn't show up to a lot of games last year because they were about done with all the shit. They are a passionate group they'll get behind if Bryce Young's able to go.